Um, this is Kingdom View of Relationship and Marriage series. In the book of Songs of Solomon, chapter 8, verse 8 to 9, there seems to be a little problem there. The Bible says, we have a little sister, but she does not have breast. What shall we say when it is time for her to marry? The question is, why is it important to her? Why is it important for her to have breast before marriage? What is the significance of the word breast? The breast symbolizes the good qualities that qualifies an individual for marriage. How can we let her marry when she have a bad character? How can we support his wedding when he is lazy? How can we sponsor their wedding when both of them are not God-fearing? The Bible refers to anyone who lacks good qualities as someone who is not fit for marriage. As breast grows from the body to beautify it, God also expects godly virtues to flow from you even before marriage. As long as you cannot meet up with the qualifications for marriage, you automatically don't have a breast. And remember, marriage is not for breastless individual. So marriage is not for breastless individual. So the word breast there means virtues. It means characters. So if you lack breast, you don't qualify for marriage. Because even if you go there, even if you end up in marriage, there's going to be a lot of casualties. Always make sure your appearance glorifies God as a single. Don't hide under the umbrella of godliness and continue in dirtiness. Be neat and iron your clothes if need be for that. Just make sure your appearance will not make people doubt the goodness of God. See from the Bible. Make haste, my beloved, and be thou like a roe or to a young hart upon the mountain of spices. That is Songs of Solomon, chapter 8, verse 14. Don't give room for frustration. Don't keep frustrating your husband because you know he won't divorce you. Don't keep provoking your wife because you know she won't retaliate or revenge. Respect each other's dignity. It's very important. Give not thy strength unto women. This reveals the reason the Bible wants us to flee fornication and adultery. Every man who engages himself in sexual sin loses his strength during the process. By this, many great ones have been destroyed. Since the glory of the youth is in their strength, it shows clearly that uh, it shows clearly here that it shows clearly here that the Bible is clear, is directly talking to the youth. So any youth that must be relevant must not give his strength to women. That means you must not be given to fornication, because fornication makes you to lose your strength. When we say youth, we are saying youth, whether male or female. The moment you begin to engage yourself in sexual sins, you begin to lose your strength. And when you lose your strength, you can no longer do something that will be significant in your generation. Because for you to cause a change, you need strength. If any youth must please God with his strength, then he must not give that strength to women. Reserve your strength for God, not to women. Reserve it for God, not for sin. This is a warning from God to you. Proverbs 31, verse 3. What happens to any man who finds or marry a virtuous woman? Number one, he will be safe and free. Number two, he will have confidence in his wife. He will have confidence in his wife. Number three, he will have no need to doubt. Number 4, his wife becomes his pride. Number 5, he will be famous and distinguished. Number 6, he will call his wife blessed. You can see all this in Proverbs 31, verse 11, verse 23, and verse 28. Favor is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman that fears the Lord will be praised. Proverbs 31, verse 30. Now, let's look at some signs. Signs that shows a virtuous woman. Number 1, she does not, okay, the first one is she does good always and not evil. You can see that in Proverbs 31, verse 12. She always do a work without grumbling. You can see that in verse 13. She is not lazy. You can see that in verse 14. She understood a responsibility and never play with it. Verse 15. She takes an advantage of every good and godly opportunities that comes her way. Verse 16. She is a woman with a great strength. Verse 17 to 19. She is generous. She gives to others without expecting any return. Verse 20. She defends her home. Verse 21. She dresses politely. She is neat. She is attractive and godly. Verse 22. She is kind, caring, and lovely. Verse 24. She prepares for her tomorrow from today. Verse 25. She does not curse with her tongue. She does not speak evil with her tongue, and she knows how to control her tongue. When she speaks, wisdom is poured out and not foolishness. Verse 26. She knows how to multiply what she has. She is productive and she is not a beggar. Verse 27. She is better than her colleagues. She is honorable and her excellency is high. Verse 29. People praise for her willingly and wish her well and good. Verse 31. If you don't see your wife as a witch before marriage, it will be wrong to see her as a witch after marriage. It is impossible for her to turn to be a witch after she married you. Marriage is not a process of manufacturing witches and wizards. I hope you get that. Anyone who cannot teach from the Bible is not qualified for marriage. How will you teach your family the ways of the Lord? Don't just keep saying sweet words to each other. Create time for Bible study. If you keep wooing yourself, you may end up fooling yourself. If you keep wooing yourself, you may end up fooling yourself. If a brother comes to you for marriage, you better don't be rude to him. If you know you will need little time to give him, reply, then tell him. Don't pretend you don't love people you really love, because many have lost good partners through this. You love him and you are not picking his calls. You almost gave him a heart attack through your pretense. Many sisters said yes when it is too late. Watch the principles you make use of. So don't pretend. Don't make people feel like you hate them so much when you actually love them so much. Don't pretend. Just be real and be sincere. Never agree to marry anyone who do not have a mentor. People who can call them to order when things start going out of hand. If you marry anyone who have nobody he fears or submits to, the day you will have challenges in your marriage or relationship, there will be nobody to run to. Don't mind those who says, I fear God only. It is impossible to, you see, when you hear people say, I fear God only, I don't need a mentor, I don't need this, I only fear God. No, it is impossible to fear the invisible without regarding the visible. That's one thing we must understand. Whosoever is joined unto the Lord is one spirit with him, for God is a spirit. But whosoever is joined unto a woman becomes one flesh with him or her. Who will pay the bills is the major questions many couples ask after marriage. They love each other, but the problem they have is that they don't know who will pay the bills. The wife thinks it is wrong for her to help the family financially. She believes all she needs to do is to give birth to children and use her effort well in caring for the home. Women like this will say, let my husband buy everything we need. Then I will ensure I take good care of them. For the husband, he also feels like he is carrying a heavy load each time financial responsibility is being shifted to him. So both of them keep asking, who will pay the bills? Don't just run into marriage, count the cost. The question should have been properly answered during courtship. Who will pay the bills is a question that should be answered in courtship, not in marriage. This question depends on your type of work. It is a serious question that can be best answered between both of you. Nobody will answer that question perfectly except you. But my advice is the best way to handle your bills is when both of you come together to complement each other. It is not only the man that will do everything. The wife is called an helpmate. That means somebody who can help in meeting a need. So those things are needs. House rent, they are need. You are the wife helping to meet the needs. Paying school fees of the children is a need. You are the wife, help him to meet the needs. Join hands together, and you will discover that everything becomes easy to achieve together.